Okay, for the recording's sake, we go back a slide. This is the October 25th, 2024 meeting with reference solution, identify research and networking to target companies presentation by Mike Ray and Pete Hernandez. So welcome to all. So note that it is being recorded and will be posted on the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. So by participating in this event, you give consent for your name and pictures to appear. Do not worry about what you put in the Zoom. That is not recorded, although we will save the for posting or sending out later with a follow-up email. So this is the group that is led by Jeff Morris for many years. He's not really the founder of the group, but he took it over a long time ago. So he's been doing it. And he created the careerdfw.org website. It is a website for all new job seekers that say the first thing I would tell you to do is to go to that website. And then he launched the careerusa.org. So as it expanded beyond the DFW area, he also wrote a book, Job Search. But you know, what I've learned about your job search, you may not know, it's available on Amazon if you're interested in that. And so he also has served on the picture. But Jeff had a fall. He's injured. He is in recovery. He will be at lunch today for those of you who want to go to lunch with us. And so in the meantime, Matt Keelan and I have volunteered to be interim leaders. Now, Matt's been on vacation for the last couple of Fridays, and he's not here. So who do we have? We have John Layton, our famous servant leader from the pit crew today. And we have found the perfect person to give the pit crew announcement when we get to that stage. So welcome, Ron, and thank you very much. And I also want to mention that Patty Bashy did last Friday's group. And I want to thank Patty. She is so supportive and so helpful to all the job seekers. And so she stepped in and she's she's done it once before. So now she's hooked to on our list to say, well, we get to use her if she's available. What we'd like her to do is get a job. So if she can get that job, we'll drop her off the list for a sub. All right. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about success stories. We're going to give a couple of minutes about job leads. And if our two recruiters are online today, we'll do our 30-second introductions and do the tip of the week, the interview success workshop, and pit crew. Rosina, are you online?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good morning.
I did not have time to put your slides in today, but we'll go without it.
Okay.
But you can still give your tip. So
not
let's announce anybody landed. Anybody online? Any good interviews? Anybody had an interview they'd like to share? If you want to talk in the room, you need the microphone.
Yeah, I just had an interview yesterday actually with Cormark. Second interview was on site. I'm hoping it went really, really well. It seemed like I connected well with the team. I will say that I'm finding it's very interesting. The more deeper I get into interviews, how much different the actual job is from a lot of times the job description posted. So my advice is having those informational interviews as well to kind of understand what's really what the job is about. And it was to my advantage, don't get me wrong. I think I'm better aligned to the job than what was originally posted as a job description. So I'm excited about that. And fingers crossed I hear some more next week.
Thank you, Mark. I think one of the guidelines is anything that's printed, we need to trust and verify wherever it is. Because what it says on the website and how it works on the floor may be two different stories. Anybody else? Interviews?
Yeah, Walt, this is Patty. So I had actually a discussion yesterday with an HR person. I had applied for a role, but certainly it was not something I was overqualified for it basically, but she still wanted to have a conversation with me. And once she had that conversation with me, she goes, we don't have currently a position open at your level, but I'm going to go back to the other leaders because it's getting to the end of the year and I know we're growing quickly. So we may need your expertise here shortly. So she's going to get back to me next week. So I'm making a way and finding a way by still having conversations with HR people at target companies, also senior leadership at my target companies, and having those discussions whether or not there is an opening. So getting them to know me, and then now I'm on their short list of candidates, if you will.
Well done, Patty. Well done.
So this is a
Anybody else?
This is a walking, talking advertisement of why you do informational interviews. You get ahead of, she's getting ahead of posted job applications.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share? Carmela.
Carmela does, yeah.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. This is Carmela Williams, and I actually had a great interview with a director of operations of a software company based out of Denver for a sales position with the company, calling on a Texas territory oil and gas companies. It was a very good interview with the director of operations who I would be reporting to. I was pretty excited about it. What's interesting is the day after I interviewed with him, he called me late in the day and he said that they had had an all hands meeting of their company and that they have a hiring freeze on now through the end of the year. So even though, a little disappointed, I wasn't, because he had said he was ready to move me forward in the process. Even though it didn't work out, it was still a very good interview and I felt good about that. So.
Go ahead, Ken. Thank you very much. Sounds good, Carmela. Keep it going. Ron.
This is Penn Hoyt, B2B Marketing Director. Had two very good interviews this week, both the recruiters. One was with a position I put in several weeks ago. The company is looking to have their first director of marketing. They are a manufacturing company of scissor lifts. And they caught me out of the blue, and I had a very good conversation with her. She's presenting me to the CEO of the company this week. And then another one I sent my resume in for the job posting, and 45 minutes later got a call back from the recruiter for the position.
Rare story, but good.
Said, I hit every button she was looking for. And so we got our fingers crossed on that one as well. So two good things this week. So
You said one you found out of the blue. How was defined out of the blue? Did they find?
I had sent the resume in about 60 days ago.
Okay.
And it's on the list, but it's one of those ones you don't think about. Suddenly you get a call and you're pulling up your spreadsheet going, who are you? So
Okay.
very quickly, but yeah.
Great. Thank you much, Penn. We have another.
Hi, this is Michael Zill. I had an interview last week with a company called Treatance when I had gone through the pitch through process for. And the interview went well, but I think the feedback I got is that I wasn't the perfect fit for the role that they were looking for from a sales perspective, but they're considering me for another role. So I guess the lesson learned there is that be open, ask a lot of questions during the interview. I definitely use that as a takeaway from the pit crew, and that kind of positioned me for another role that I may actually be a better fit for. So definitely the coaching that I got from these different groups, this group and others, has been very helpful with that.
Okay. Moving forward. Are our recruiters online? Just checking the.
Yes. Yes. Sorry, I was stuck on mute.
Is that you, Elise?
Yeah, Tracy, you can go first. No, that's okay. Good to see you guys today. Elise and I work at Thomas Edwards Group, which is a firm that specializes in accounting, finance, HR, and IT, mainly in the DFW area. We've gone a little bit outside of that at this point. So we'll do some roles in Houston, and we had one recently in Austin, but mainly focused in the DFW area. We work on the direct hire side. I'm on the Dallas side. Elise is on that Fort Worth team, but we work really collaboratively. So either side that you're on, we're able to help. But we also have contract work as well, mainly focused in those spaces that I shared. But yeah, that's kind of what we do.
Yeah, and just to add on, so echo exactly what Tracy said. Just to add on, we've seen a high volume of tax manager positions, and then an even higher volume of FP&A roles, kind of at the higher level. So if you're looking for any tax positions, or FP&A manager, FP&A director roles, would love to connect with you guys. Thanks.
Guys, I can tell you, I deal with Thomas Edwards all the time. They're a fantastic organization. If you're not connected to them yet, I would encourage you guys to do so.
So Tracy, at least generally that drop their information into the chat window for contact connection information. Thank you so much for participating and joining us today and giving us some information about some job leads. Appreciate very much. So now it's time for introductions for you to put those of you that are online to put your information into the chat window, like your name and position you're looking for, your email. I suggest you put your LinkedIn in there as well, your phone, and what city, because we're looking to see that some people are, not in the DFW area. And so where are you coming from? We've had many around the states all over. And then the 2 or 3 target companies if you have targeted companies. So put that into the chat window. We'll give you a few minutes to accomplish that. That was Jeff doing that had put that in there. So I'll have to give him credit for putting in the music for that. All right. For those of us that are in the room, I'd like you to form a line. We're going to come up to the computer that's in the room, use the microphone and introduce yourself. Here's an outline that's shown on the screen. What's your name? We always suggest that you pause before your first and last name so that we can get it clearly. What kind of job you're looking for, target companies if you have any, and if you have contacts at companies where you can help others, what those companies are, and then repeat your name. And by the way, I will introduce myself a little bit later.
Just so everybody in the room knows, the second window down on the right, that's how they see you. So you can position yourself away from the card so people can see you.
Oh, that's me. That's you. Good morning, everybody. Peter Watson, a services and project delivery manager with a background in telecom, internationally and multiculturally experienced. My secret sauce is getting close enough to the customer to find out what the real problem is, not what they perceive it to be. I am Peter Watson.
Thank you, Peter. Don't all jump at once. Okay, you can all jump at once.
Thanks, Peter. Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Belzil. I'm looking for Senior Director, VP of Product Management role. So I'm looking for contacts in the DFW area, target companies such as Keurig Dr. Pepper, Frito-Lay, or HEB. So I have contacts at Walmart and Epsilon. So my name is Mike Belzil.
Thank you, Mike. That was nice and concise. We got a lot of people to do introductions, so we want to be brief in our introduction.
Mark Shemansky. I'm a senior technical writer, information architect. I'm focusing on telecom companies and IT data centers. And my name is Mark Shemansky.
Thank you, Mark. Hadn't seen you in a while, Jody.
Been in training all this time. Jody Dahlberg. I'm an IT operations manager. I help businesses with technology. I'm looking for pretty agnostic industry agnostic. I'm looking for IT manager positions. And I don't have any target companies right now. Jody Dahlberg.
Thank you, Jody. You know, Jody, if we're men and we're married, we've been in training all our married lives.
Hi, I'm Teresa Guy Tippie, GUY-TIPPIE. My first name Teresa with an H. And I'm looking for HR manager, HR business partner in the Dallas area. And I'm just started my target company, so I don't have anybody yet, but I do have contacts at Insperity if you're interested in PEO, and as well as that's my biggest contact. My name again is Teresa, T-H-E-R-E-S-A. Last name is Guy Tippie, G-U-Y-Tippie.
Who's next?
Yes.
If y'all could form a line so you could just, be behind and be ready to speak, that would help. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Denise Kingland, and I'm looking for an HR director position. I'm looking for contacts at McKesson, Capital One, are the ones I can think of. I also have contacts at Insperity, IBM, and again, my name is Denise Kingland, seeking an HR director position.
Thank you, Denise.
Hi, I'm Penn Hoyt. That's Penn, like what you write with an extra N. I'm B2B marketing director. I'm looking for contacts at PS Tracks and Time Manufacturing. I have contacts at Verizon, T-Mobile, and a lot of other companies. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to help you on out. My name again is Penn Hoyt.
Morning, everybody. My name is Cindy Liu, L-I-U, and I'm a strategy manager with 14 years of experience across energy, aviation, and tech. I'm looking for roles such as program manager and product strategy manager. I'm looking for contacts specifically at Wells Fargo, Caterpillar, and HP Enterprise. I have contacts at Dell, American Airlines, are some of the companies I'm connected to in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Again, my name is Cindy Liu. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. See you Tuesday.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Craig Hewitt. I am a creative marketing copywriter with B2C copywriting experience. Looking for a home in either like with a creative team or marketing team. Some of the target companies I'm eyeing, PepsiCo, Keurig Dr. Pepper. Also I looked into Anders Distribution, Ben and Keith. And so if you think of anybody in that realm, please let me know and I'll be more than to share my information as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, everybody. My name is Troy Dye. I'm actually not looking for a job. I'm actually a recruiter. I come on the business development side for Wired Hive. And so I'm actually here to network this morning. We are trying to build our database, but also network with potential hiring contacts as well. So love to meet some folks for that. So Troy Dye.
Well, welcome, Troy. Are there specific areas that you do recruiting?
So we do IT. We do specifically IT.
Okay.
But I network with people all over.
Right.
And just a little bit of good news. We one of my former hiring managers has been at work for the last 4 months. Landed, got an offer last week. He starts in the middle of
Oh,
November.
fantastic.
Things are looking up.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Hello, my name is Todd Haney. I am looking for roles in the customer success or implementation specialist arena. I need contacts at CoreLogic and Caterpillar. I have contacts at Tyler Technology and Dallas College. My name is Todd Haney.
Thank you, Todd.
Good
Happy
morning.
Friday, everyone. My name is Anthony Archery. I'm a senior retail manager / operationist. I help companies drive sales, grow profit at the same time, reduce costs. Anthony Archery.
Good morning. I'm Carmela
Good morning,
Williams.
everyone. Miguel Castillo.
Hang on, Carmela. We'll get everybody online in just a moment.
I
No
might be the
worries.
last one here.
William hadn't done anything.
So my name is Miguel Castillo. I'm looking for a VP or director at P&A or finance position. More likely in a Fortune 500 company, but can be obviously a smaller or medium-sized company. Need contacts at Toyota or Stryker. Have contacts at Amazon, American Airlines, United Airlines. My name is Miguel Castillo. And I think there's no one else here.
No, that's not correct.
All right.
Yeah, everybody else that hasn't gone, please come behind me.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is William McLaughlin, currently seeking a data analyst role and currently looking for contacts at Cinemark and Dave and Buster's. Again, my name is William McLaughlin. Thank you.
Got one more in the room?
Hi, my name is Hernandez. I'm not sure what I'm looking for, but I'm definitely exploring and looking out for what everyone else is doing. My name is Hernandez.
Thank you so much for coming. Okay, we're gonna start with online. We're very limited in our time. We got a lot of people online today. And so if you could introduce yourself and just follow the outline on the screen and be brief, and we'll just get through everybody. We want to hear from everyone.
So I'll go ahead and call out the names. Ahmed.
Hi everyone, my name is Ahmed. I'm looking for IT project management / Scrum Master, mainly targeting government / financial industries. I do have contacts with Robert Half and Randstad. Once again, my name is Ahmed. Thank you.
Hey, people like Ahmed, can you please put your last name on your screen as well so we can connect with you?
All right. Diane? Edna?
Good morning, I'm Diane Bednar. I'm looking for a role as a director of retail stores in the Dallas area. I can help with contacts at Tractor Supply.
All right, Patty Bashi.
Hi, everybody. I'm Patty Bashi. I'm looking for an account director, senior customer success manager role at a marketing research company. I need contacts at Ipsos and Mintel, and I have contacts at Nielsen and Kantar. My name is Patty Bashi.
All right, Sharman.
Good morning. My name is Charmin Chilton, and I'm looking for a position in either project or program management for anything outside of IT. Currently, my contacts would be Securitas Technology and other electronic or physical security companies. I currently, my name is Charmin Chilton.
Alicia Cooper.
Good morning. My name's Alicia Cooper, and I'm looking for a role in talent acquisition. I've been in the aerospace and defense industry for the past 17 years, but I'm open to multiple companies. Once a recruiter, always a recruiter, can recruit for any position. Thank you. I'm Alicia Cooper.
Anna Stottleman. Are you muted? Okay, Brandy Mallard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on mute. I'm sorry. I was joking here myself. I'm a global HR leader and I'm looking for an HR business partner position within HR. So I'm new to the area, so I have limited connections and I'm happy to be here today to improve these connections. I'm open to various industries as well.
Thank you, Brian Jerome.
Morning, Ryan Jerome, supply chain specialist, production, inventory control, scheduling. My name is Brian Jerome.
Carmela Williams.
Good morning. I'm Carmela Williams. I'm looking for roles in strategic account sales and account management with software firms. I primarily worked in the software firms related to transportation management and logistics. And so I'm looking for those types of roles. I have contacts at Solera Omnitrax and Rand McNally. My name is Carmela Williams.
Thank you, Chad Little. Did you mute it, Chad? Okay, David Williams.
Sorry, Pete,
You're
you
a
say
little
Dave?
quiet. Just
Yeah.
speak up a little bit.
Yeah, didn't understand.
Okay, so I said Chad Little. And then David Williams, if Chad's
Yeah. Good morning, David Williams, looking for a supply chain risk management resiliency position. I have contacts at Texas Scottish Rite Hospital, looking for contacts at JPS, UNT, and Smith and Nephew in Fort Worth. David Williams.
You, Deanna Huckabee. Deanna, mark her once. Elsie Cubey. All right, James. Jonathan St. John.
Good morning. I'm Jonathan St. John. I'm looking for IT project management related roles. I need contacts for companies local in the Fort Worth, Dallas area. If someone needs a contact with VAR related companies for IT related projects outside of Texas, I might have some contacts for you. I'm Jonathan St. John.
Kim.
Hi, my name is Kim Montaigne. I'm a program manager, project manager. I have varied contacts, so I won't list them here. Again, my name is Kim Montaigne.
Mark Tegmeyer.
Hi, Mark Tegmeyer, finance manager and veteran. Currently looking for any additional contacts at Coremark, the company I just interviewed with, but I'm looking for FP&A roles. Mark Tegmeyer.
Rand Paul.
Hi, Ran Paul Reddy. I'm looking for global talent strategy, global mobility, immigration, leadership positions within the HR team. Need contact at PepsiCo. I'll be happy to refer anybody in Accenture. Ran Paul Reddy. Thank you.
Rosina. Mute, Rosina.
I'm so sorry, Ron. I could barely hear you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I am your Career Tip of the Week host. I'm looking for a position as a senior talent acquisition consultant or senior recruiter. And I need contacts this week at Goldman Sachs, Deloitte, Delta Dental, Unum Dental, or Walmart, the corporate office or the Texas home office. Again, Rosina Gallman, senior talent acquisition consultant. And one other quick thing, who is it? Miguel Castillo. Let's make sure we connect because I do have a contact for you over at Toyota. All right, thanks so much, everybody.
Hopefully I pronounced this right, Sabiha.
Hello, good morning. I'm Sabiha Pandya. I'll just repeat it. Might be a tough pronounce for many. Sabiha Pandya. And I live in Allen, Texas. And looking for senior level program manager roles. I have more than 15 years of experience in the IT telecom arena. And my target companies are like AWS, Verizon, PepsiCo, Amdocs, JPMC. Most of my contacts are from Amdocs, as I worked there most of my career.
All right, Stacy Hawk.
Good morning, I'm Stacy Hack. I'm looking for an AI product manager role. I'm also open to project management. I have a background in data analytics, cloud, and AI. My target companies are Microsoft. I have contacts at AAA. My name is Stacy Hack. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Rowan.
Good morning. My name is Steve Rowan. I'm a retired .NET developer, but I'm not looking for a specific job right now. I'm just staying hooked up with the career groups. So my name is Steve Rowan.
Steve Sulkin.
Morning, everybody. Steven Sulkin, Director of Operations Excellence. I've got contacts at Baylor Scott & White, and I'm looking for contacts at United Surgical Partners or Community Health Corporation. And I forgot to say, I lead early stage lean deployment. I'm Steve Sulkin.
Tracy Harris. Valeria Henderson. Walt Arnold.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, good morning. I'm Valerie Henderson, and I am a project manager focusing on operations and training and integration on new projects. I am targeting Cisco, T-Mobile, and TTI. I also have contacts at Samsung, HVAC, DART, and AT&T. I am Valerie Henderson. That's Valerie with an A.
Tracy Harrison.
Yes.
Okay, I think we're through.
Anybody we miss online?
I don't think Brandy got a chance to do hers.
Thank you. Yes. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I may have an echo. My name is Brandy Mallard, and I am typically VP director, currently in operations, but my major background is in finance, credit risk, and looking for a position on the credit risk side or financial services in general. And so my target companies are Accenture, Goldman Sachs, UBS, probably missing a few, but those are like my top three. Oh, and CoreLogic. And again, my name is Brandy Mallard, and I have contacts at Sedgwick, UBS, oddly enough, and Citi Group. Thank you.
Did we miss anyone else?
This is Walt Arnold. Good morning, Walt Arnold. I'm the other Walt for the day. I am in program management and project management, and my core companies or my target companies are Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Synchrony Financial. Again, my name is Walt Arnold.
And y'all may have called me earlier when I stepped away, but I'm Chad Little. I'm looking for fractional CFO roles, and some target contacts for me would be any business incubator, but in particular Impact Ventures or Code Launch or Collide. And I have contacts in Fort Worth at BNSF. My name is Chad Little. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Jason Ritzer here. Good morning, everyone. I'm looking for a role in finance and business management or project management. I'm looking for contacts at Capital One and Truist Bank. I have contacts at MUFG, Mitsubishi Union Financial Group, and Love's Travel Stops. My name is Jason Ritzer.
Okay. We have Troy wants to talk. He's got a couple of leads, so we're going to slip those in right now. Thank you, Troy.
Thanks. I apologize. I should have mentioned it when I was up before. So we just started 2 new searches yesterday that we're looking for a manager, senior manager of software development. Specifically, this client is a small startup, 5 years old. They just got their second round of funding. And so they're moving forward with some good projects. We need somebody ideally that has experience in 3D, preferably medical 3D imaging. They're open to candidates with gaming. They're open to candidates with geospatial, that type of thing as well. So great opportunity for somebody to come in and really contribute. The other position that they're going to have is a business process / data process analyst. This needs to be a senior level person as well that can jump in and help them refine business processes and then determine the best way to present data, decision data to hiring managers or to managers in the organization. So that's really heavily on the business process side initially, and then moving into the data towards the latter part of well, those are both direct hire positions as well in Richardson.
Thank you, Troy. I think we've got everybody covered.
How can we connect with Troy?
LinkedIn, Troy Dye, D-Y-E.
Troy Dye, D-Y-E. On LinkedIn. Okay. And you can put Troy Dye in the chat if you would. Please, sir. Okay. Rosina.
Yes, sir. Give me just a second. All right. Good morning again.
Normally, I normally have some slides to put in, but I wasn't able to do that this time. Time demands. Anyway, we will put some information. Roseanne will put some information in the chat.
Yes, sir. I'll do that after. All right,
Go ahead,
everyone.
Rosina.
Good morning. Again, Rosina Gallman, Career Tip of the Week host. And so this week's Career Tip of the Week is going to be 13 must-have job search apps to find your dream job. So this article is it's going to highlight the convenience and efficiency of using job search apps to streamline the job hunting process. It emphasizes how these apps can save you time, broaden job opportunities, and simplify the application process. Why should you use job search apps? Well, to streamline job search, you save time and effort by accessing multiple job boards in one place. You'll also broaden your opportunities. You'll explore a wider range of job listings from various sources. It'll be a simplified application. Easily submit applications, resumes, and cover letters with just a few clicks. There are free resources on job search apps, and so that gives you access to valuable resources to support your job search journey. And then they're cost effective. Many job search apps are free or offer affordable options. Now, what to look for in a job search app? Efficiency first. It will be looking for apps that save you time and allow you easy searching, saving, and applying in your search. You want to look for relevance. Ensure the app caters to your specific field or industry. You want to look for job alerts. Receive notifications for new job postings that match your criteria. Organization. Choose apps that offer easy organization of information and applications. Customization. Personalize your profile to target relevant job opportunities. And then cost. Consider the cost of the app and whether it aligns to your budget and needs. Now, some of the best job search apps, the article provides a list of recommended job search apps, which include first, Indeed, a comprehensive job aggregator with a user-friendly interface. Second, LinkedIn, ideal for networking and finding your job opportunities within a professional network. Third, ZipRecruiter. It offers AI-powered job matching and a streamlined application process. Fourth, Monster, known for its vast job listings and easy application process. Fifth, Glassdoor. It provides company reviews, salary information, and job listings. Sixth, CareerBuilder, another popular job board with a wide range of listings. Seventh, Snagajob, focuses on hourly jobs and offers simple application process. 8, Dice, specializes in tech jobs and provides a targeted search experience. 9th, FlexJobs, for those seeking flexible or remote work arrangements. 10th, Jive, catered to entry-level job seekers with a simplified application process. 11, Google, allows you to search for jobs directly through the Google app. 12, JobStack. It's ideal for finding temporary or short-term work. 13, JobGet. Focuses on local job opportunities and offers quick application processes. 14, it's Upwork for freelancers seeking project-based work. And number 15, Kick Resume. It helps you to create and manage your resume and cover letters on the go. Now, tips for optimizing your job search with apps. First, you want to select a few apps. Choose 3 or 4 apps to align with your goals. Next, you want to complete your profile by providing accurate and detailed information. Third, you want to tailor your resume. You want to customize that resume for each and every job application. Fourth, you want to submit it early, so apply for jobs as soon as possible. Fifth, you want to set job alerts to stay updated on new opportunities. And sixth, you want to be selective. Apply for jobs that truly match your skills and interests. So in conclusion, the article emphasizes the importance of leveraging job search apps to enhance your job hunting efforts. And by selecting the right apps and following the provided tips, you can increase your chances of finding the dream job effectively and efficiently. And this particular article is written by Rhonda Setter. She's a professional resume writer with JobZip. And then number 14 and 15, those two, Upwork and Kick Resume, I pulled those from a different article only because they weren't included, but I thought they were very relevant. And those two additional job search apps are from Apollo Technical. It's an IT staffing agency, and that part of the article was written by Ryan Bradshaw. To read his full article, I'll add the link in the chat. But Apollo Technical, they hire for engineering, IT, and supply chain jobs. And I know we have a lot of those asks on this call. So I'll make sure I have that information in the chat. They have several locations across the country, but two specifically in our area, one in Dallas and one in Fort Worth. And again, one more thing, Career DFW does not endorse or promote the sign up of any membership, subscription, agency, or service. We are strictly sharing information produced by organizations to educate the job seeker community as a way to help you as part of your job search strategy to find the people, information, and opportunities to land your next career. We encourage you to seek, research, and use information on your own from a variety of resources. And I'm more than happy to continue to provide those resources as part of the career tips of the week. Hope you guys enjoy this article. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.
Thank you, Rosina. Again, I apologize for not being able to get your slides into the presentation this week, but I thank you for all your work, for your research that you do to help us with that.
You're welcome.
So very quickly, let me introduce myself. I'm Walt Glass. I say my introduction to this point in the process that I have people with interviewing skills. I have a free interview success workshop. That QR code that you see will start an email to my Yahoo email address, which you also see. This is a copy of my banner page on LinkedIn, and to ask for a registration. This is a learning workshop. It is not a mock interview. You will get an interview, but we're going to cover basic categories of questions, and we're going to learn how to sell 3 things: who we are, what we do, and how we help. The key elements of selling is basically people are hiring us to achieve things. Yes, they're hiring us for what we do. Yes, they're hiring us for who we are. So does the culture match? Do the activities, does the history, does the experience match? Does the knowledge match? And then how do we combine that for the value that we can provide? So be glad to have you participate. Just send me that email and I'll get you on the schedule. We interview for the job we dream. Well, who'd have thunk it? With practice, we can dunk it. And then we can share Krispy Kreme. I'm Walt Glass.
Do something in light. I'm going to turn my back on you and go this way. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ron Layton. I think most of you have met me. I'm blessed to be able to lead the Dallas Pit Crew for the last couple of years. The Dallas Pit Crew, we do mock interviews. We call them mock, but in reality, anybody that's been through them will let you know they are a real interview. We do meet every Wednesday. We meet in person, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and the 5th. The only Wednesday we don't meet in person is the 4th Wednesday, and we do meet via Zoom. You can see all of our schedule on Career DFW from that perspective. Those of you that have been here, or those of you that don't know, we really have a mission, and our mission is to help you get through transition as fast as you can. And we do that by helping you meet 2 goals. The first goal is become more comfortable when you go to an interview. So when you walk in the door, you know you've done everything you can to be prepared for that. You know your star stories, you know how to tell me about yourself, you know how to answer, why should I hire you? So you are prepared. And number 2, you know how to differentiate yourself, all right? That doesn't mean just saying how many years you've had on the job, but it means what are you going to do in that specific position with results so that they remember you when you walk out. We always encourage anybody to come and observe, whether it's online or in person, and we're always looking for panelists. We have 2 requirements for a panelist. The first requirement is that you've been a hiring manager. And the second requirement is you've had the misfortune to have to terminate somebody's employment. We feel that that gives you more empathy and allows you to understand what everybody else is going through. All right, let's see. We talked about mission, we've talked about goals. I believe that is about it.
The
It
The
mentioned
link.
how many openings there are.
the link.
The link you can send to get an interview, send it to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. If you want to know what we're about, just go to dallaspitcrew.com. That's our website. Somebody mentioned behind how many openings they are. We have 5 openings that are open throughout the rest of the year. We typically have been 4 to 5 weeks ahead from any current week. So just let you know that we used to say practice early, practice often. I kind of put that in my back pocket because unfortunately, we have a lot of people that want to go through. So just go ahead and send your email to get on the schedule. That's the best thing that you can do to try to get ahead of the game. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ron. Okay, just to let you know today that after, for those of you that want to join us at Jason's Deli at 4801 West Parker Road, and join us for lunch today. And Jeff is planning to be there. If you want to meet Jeff, I'm really encouraged by his progress in the last 2 or 3 months. So let me introduce Mike Ray and Pete Hernandez to you for our main event. Finally, we're getting to you guys. Thank you for your patience. And Pete, thank you for putting some other things and information into the chat window for us today. You are now a co-leader of the group. Well, I met Mike about 6 years ago. He was coming to the pit crew. He's coming to this group. And we had an accountability group. It was a great group. Like we used to meet across the street at McDonald's before the pit crew, or even early mornings before this group. And so it's been he's a great friend, does a lot of good work. And he's retired, as is Pete is retired. I met Pete out at South Lake Focus Group, where both of these gentlemen are workers and leaders for the South Lake Focus Group. If you haven't been to the South Lake Focus Group on Thursdays, I strongly recommend. That's one of the groups you must attend. It's a great networking opportunity for you out there. So I want to welcome Mike and Pete today. I remember when we started this workshop or this reference solutions thing, Mike, and so it still continues today. Last thing I'll say is there's a lot of activities that we need to do in job search. This one is in the top 5 of activities to do. So take it away, Mike and Pete.
Thank you, Walt. We appreciate it. Pete, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
I can do that. I will follow the format that Walt and the group have laid out. So my name is Pete Hernandez. I am a retired dude, so I am not looking for any company contacts. However, I do have several that I can connect you with. I am a relationship guy though, so for me to connect you to one of my contacts at a company, I want to make sure we have met before and had at least a conversation, and I'm happy to connect you with anybody in my network after that. Prior to my retirement, I was a leader in both the IT and operations space in the property casualty insurance industry. And now I am part of the leadership, as Walt was saying, not only at South Lake Focus Group, but also at Frisco Connect and the HR group that meets on the first and third Wednesdays with Foster Williams. So again, my name is Pete Hernandez.
Thank you, Pete. And my name is Mike Ray. I am a retired VP Director of Marketing and Product Management. And as Walt said, we got started in this process quite a few years ago when we were I was part of an accountability group with Walt and got started with this effort as I was looking for my next career opportunity. My background is I was in the HVAC arena. I've worked for Trane, Lennox, and for a small HVAC company in Oklahoma City. And so I have contacts at quite a few different locations. If you're interested in HVAC, I've got connections at quite a few different companies. They tend to move around within the HVAC industry. So I've got a lot of contacts there. If I can be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask. Again, my name is Mike Ray. And today we're going to talk about how to identify, research, and network into target companies. And that's an important thing to be able to do. And one of the skill sets that we talked about frequently in the accountability group that we had. So there was a need, and we started working on it and started developing this information to share with other job seekers out in the various groups that we engaged in.
All right, believe it or not, Mike and I are not employed by Reference Solutions or their parent company, Data Axle. This is something, as Mike was saying, that he came across as a resource many years ago. So he figured it'd be great to share with the unemployed audience. So Mike and back then his buddy Kip started doing these presentations, and I have now taken over for Kip. So we are not compensated or represent Reference Solutions or Data Axle in any way, shape, or form. We're just doing this to help you guys hopefully land your next gig. All right, so in the past, we've done this presentation many times throughout the Metroplex and different forums. So you can find prior presentations. If anybody you know couldn't be with us this morning, obviously this was being recorded, but we also had a prior recording that was done at Frisco Connect. So you can go to the friscoconnect.org site and go to our media page. And towards the bottom now, from May 2023, you'll see a presentation that Mike and I did then. The content and everything is exactly the same. There's one minor difference. We'll point that out as we go through this, but you'll be able to see us live in a living color on that presentation.
As we go through our session today, if we cover most of the functionality of this particular tool, and if we cover something or say something that's unclear, please stop and ask us, did you say this, or clarify? Would you please make that statement again? Otherwise, please hold your questions and you can put them in the chat section if you want to, but hold on to your questions if you're interested in, hey, does it do this? Does it do that? I have a personality that picks up on things fairly quick, and I'm eager to let's keep going. I'm excited. This is a great tool. Does it do this? Does it do that? If you're a personality style like that, please hold on to your questions or place them into the chat. Because we cover, I would say 99% of the questions is covered in the presentation.
All right, so what is a target company? You guys know what a target company is? I really can't see much of the audience, so if you know what a target company is, I think all of you were covering that in your initial introduction. So I will assume all of you know what that is, but it's basically a company that you would love to work for, or at least have high interest in working for, and you want to know more about what those companies are. We always teach you as you go through your job search process that you should have multiple target companies out there, but the question is always, how do I find out what they are? How many is multiple? And we always recommend anywhere from 25 to 50, because as you start doing your research, you're going to drop some of those companies. So while we were in the job search, like I said, I was in the insurance industry. So I used to look at target companies like the ones you see on the screen, the Hartford, Travelers, Allstate, all the typical insurance companies you see advertised on TV anytime you're watching anything. And Mike, when he was in a job search, again, he was in the HVAC world. So he's looking at Rheem and Kubota Tractor and Campat Machine and Tool. So those are the type of companies that we were looking at as we were doing our search back in the day when we were still looking. All right, so in the networking groups, as Walt, you guys do an excellent job, by the way, in this group. And the fact that you're part of your intro, you do introduce yourself like every other networking group, what your name is, what you do, and you have to own that title, I am, and whatever that title is, your value brand, what do you bring to the table? And then, of course, your name again, so people can catch that once you said something brilliant, like I've saved the company $50 million. They're going to want to know what your name is. So you repeat your name, then always add at least 1 or 2 target companies. I always tell, a quick story in that long time ago in one of these groups, I met somebody who was a mechanical, biochemical engineer. I had no idea how to help her. But once she told me what her target companies were, it's like, oh, okay, I've heard of Exxon, I've heard of those other companies. So now I can help you. So those of you, I know we've already been through this exercise. You don't have to do it again if you don't want to, but if you have a target company, please post it in the chat and we'll try to help each other out.
So, you know, one of the questions that we've got, and one of the things that's out there is there's a plethora of target companies that are out there. How many target companies should we have? How many should we work with? Should we work with 1 to 5, or should we work with 5 or 50 to 100? And how do I get from one company to 50 to 100? What's the process? How do I get from one step to another? And so as we look at it, obviously you're always going to have that one that, oh, I just looked at on LinkedIn and I just filled out an application for this particular job. That's me. And that's my style of how I did or how I always approach things. And when I came to Walt's, the accountability group that Walt was leading, the thing that came up was everybody would ask, okay, so what's your target companies? And I always had one. And that was the one that I filled out the latest application for. And the group would look at me and said, no, you don't get it. You need to have more than one target company. Well, how do I get more than one target company? How do I get, multiple target companies? And how do I find them? Because it's really not a tool that's being taught every day in any of the groups that you go to. As it is, I've been to this group a few times. I've been to South Lake Focus Group, and also to Frisco Connect. And really, they're not teaching on a regular basis how to find target companies. So what's the best process to find these target companies? And Walt and the group kept going, hey, well, there was this guy that used to teach how to find target companies. And what he would do is he went to the library, and you get your library card, and he said, all you have to do is go to this company. It was called Reference USA at the time. Now it's called Data Axle Reference Solutions. And all you have to do is ask the librarian how to get into the program, and she'll show you how to identify target companies and get your list of target companies. And so that's a proactive approach. Well, the first week I said, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And I did what everybody else or the majority of people on this call is likely to do. And that's well, I'm not going to do that. I'll agree. I'm going to go to the library, but then immediately went back to doing the things the way I always used to do them. And so I wasn't holding myself accountable, and the group wasn't hammering me about it. And I came back the next week and they said, well, how'd you do with finding these target companies? And I didn't find the target companies. I said, well, I've got this one target company. No. You need to go to the library, get your library card, and identify these target and a list of target companies. Okay, I'll do that. And I had a buddy of mine that was in the same boat. His name was Kip Lipson. He was part of the accountability group. And it got to the third week, and we finally got tired of getting that. I'm sure Walt got tired of telling us, hey, you need to go to the library, get your library card, and identify your target companies. And they just said, you need to do this. And I looked at Kip, and Kip looked at me, and I said, Kip, what are you doing right after this? And he goes, well, I guess I'm going to the library and get my library card so we can look up and find target companies. And that's what we did. He and I both went over immediately to the library right after that and got our library cards and started identifying target companies with this tool. Now, we figured out how to help ourselves. We were being more proactive by going out and finding these target companies rather than reacting to, well, there's a job posted out on LinkedIn, or there's a job posted out on Indeed or ZipRecruiter or something like that. Rather than reacting to a job posting that's out there, we identified some potential companies that we could work for, and we were being proactive in our approach. And that was the thing that turned the page for both Kip and I as we move forward. We were being proactive using this tool.
All right, so it's time for some decisions. Now, we all know we need to find target companies, but now you got to start making some decisions as to what type of companies do you want to pursue? Do you want to stay in the same industry? Do you want to go to a different industry? Some of you have already stated during your introduction that you're industry agnostic. You're in HR, or you're in IT, and it doesn't matter to you what industry you work on, but you got to start somewhere. So you do have to pick an industry, perhaps the last one you were at, or whatever it is. Or if you want to try a different one, that's cool as well. This can accommodate both. What size of company do you want? You know, in terms of size, it could be either in terms of revenue or in terms of number of people at that company. So both of those, again, can be accommodated via the search on the software. And then once beyond that, do you want to stay local? And of course, now this, you know, we put this together years ago, that the fact that most companies would turn to a lot of remote activities wasn't in the cards back then. But still, as we see more and more return to office mandates going out there in the companies, you do have to decide, do you want to stay in DFW? Are you open to relocation? If you have family out of state, or, you know, Houston or whatever, and you're willing to do that, that's something else you consider through the database, is looking at different locations throughout the US. So there is a competing database. If your local library does not have the reference solutions, or sometimes they still call it the old name, Reference USA, there is a competing product called A to Z. And a couple of gentlemen that used to work at Reference USA left and created A to Z when they were acquired by Data Axle. So both these products are very, very similar. So a lot of what we're going to teach you here today applies to both. But if you prefer finding a library of reference solutions, that's perfectly fine. But A to Z will work just as well. And there's also another product out there, D&B Hoovers. Any of you have dealt with the financial industry, have done any kind of financial research, you're very familiar with both D&B and Hoovers, who have now merged. But that's something also excellent within the library that you can use to do your research on companies in the future.
Oh, we're going to tell you it for those of you that live in the state of Texas, we're going to show you a shortcut. And that's one of the key things that we always found to be helpful in our job search process. If somebody's already figured out a way to get things done, if they know a shortcut, I always like to have people tell us the shortcut. Well, here's a shortcut. And so all of you, if you do not have a library card or do not have access to reference solutions right now, this is a quick way to get access to reference solution, to Data Axle reference solutions. First off, if you live in the state of Texas, it's free. You go out on and you Google My Link Card, and you might have to put comma library. Okay, type in My Link Card, comma library, and when you do that, it will bring up the Houston Library, how to get online and get your library card. This process takes about 10 minutes to do. As long as you live in the state of Texas, it's free. And so this is it's a very simple process. I did it from my house, and I was nowhere near Houston. I live in Plano. And so I said, well, I need to have a couple ways to get access to reference solutions just in case. And so I got my Houston library card. Actually, Pete told me about to go to Houston and get your library card from Houston. And I got my Link card. It took all of 10 minutes. It's not a hard process to do at all. All you have to have is proof that you live in the state of Texas. And like a Texas driver's license, a voter's registration card, or a utility bill. Anything that you have proof that shows that you're a resident in the state of Texas. And Houston will accept that and give you your library card. Now, if you don't want to go to Houston or go online to Houston to get your MyLink card, and you want to go to your local library, you can do that. Not all libraries have access to reference solutions. That's why we're telling you the easiest way to do it if you live in the state of Texas is just show proof of residency and get your MyLink card online. That gives you access to this tool 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's important. Okay, and if you haven't used this tool before and are looking for the location of where the tool is within Houston or within your library network, once you go online and you get your library card, by the way, my library card is right here. It's on my keys. And I carry it with me 24 or anytime I carry my keys, I've got my library card with me. And so I have access to the tool. But if I need assistance, the online librarian is more than willing to assist you with this process. So there's a little thing, it says like chat or something like that. You can click on that if you have questions. You're more than welcome to take advantage of that. In the chat, Patty mentioned that she has Reference USA there. Well, they just haven't updated the name, Patty. So the new name is, and some of you may see it as Reference USA. The parent company is Data Axle, just for your knowledge. And then the tool that we're using is Reference Solutions. Once you get into the tool and sign on to the library, you'll see this particular this database or this Reference Solutions information, and a few things that we found was, first off, U.S. businesses. We utilized this particular database most of the time. They have made it a little easier for you if you so desire, and made the file smaller. If you want to use one of these other databases, you're more than welcome to do so. But what we found was it was a whole lot easier just to use the whole all of the database all at one pop. So whenever we went in and started using the tool, we opened up with the large database. Now, a couple things that have been updated since our previous presentations. There are 18 million verified businesses in Reference Solutions. The other thing is that there's 84 million unverified businesses. And all that means is when the Reference Solutions customer service people reaches out to some of these unverified businesses, they're trying to get information. And some of the businesses don't have the time or don't answer the phone or something like that. And so they remain unverified. They still are a possible, there's still companies that you could work for in the unverified if you so desire. The thing is, we always focused on the verified ones. They're probably a little bit larger than the unverified. So we focused on the 18 million verified when we did our searches. Pete, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I can take that one.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start. This is how we get started on doing our search in the database. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to say I'm looking for a position because I know in the past that there was an IBM local office here. So I'm going to start my search by putting in IBM in the company field because that's what I want to start my search at, because that's the business I used to be in, and I want to see what else they got. So I'm going to key in IBM and that particular field there for the company name. And I am going to come down to that right portion of the screen where it says view results, and I'm going to click on that. And then you're going to see all the companies that say IBM. Now, you will note on the screen that we have obviously 283 results in this particular place. But you'll also see on the screen that anything with the letters I, B, or M are showing up. So we have to do some filtering, plus the fact that I want to work here in Texas and I'm getting, hits from all over the country. And as much as I may love Arkansas and Arizona and sorry, Patty, and all those other places in California, I don't want to be there. I want to be here in Texas. So we're going to start doing some filtering so we get down from that 283 and try to find Big Blue. So we're going to start doing a little bit of filtering. So we're going to revise our search. And once we revise our search, now we're going to put a filter in for the grand old state of Texas. And we'll start narrowing some of that down. And now we've gone from 283 to 24. And while you can still see that we're getting some businesses that are not Big Blue and IBM, you will see now we're at least narrowed it down to IBM. And there's a local office in Dallas that I remember. So we're going to start focusing on that particular office, which is here on Stemmons. So we know it's here in the Dallas area where I want to be. Now we see other cities here within Texas. So if you wanted to filter any further, we could, and we'll show you that later. But right now we're going to focus on that one location here in the Dallas area on Stemmons. Oh, by the way, I should mention, thank you, Mike, that you're going to see this little graphic to the end there. And if it's got an up arrow like you're seeing there on the slide, that means that that particular office that we're looking at right now is part of a satellite office or a local office. In other words, it reports to a home office. So it's not the home office, but it reports to a home office. And whatever the structure is, whether it's satellite or branches or whatever they call them, it reports to a bigger office somewhere else in the nation. So if you see the arrow pointing down, that means that you are at the home office level and there may be other branches that may be local to you. So now we clicked on that particular office and we're going to blast that little quick links on the left rather. We're going to put it on the right so you guys can see it better. But we're going to look at now a little bit more detail as to what that office provides for us. So location information, obviously, it's where it's located. And it's going to show job listings. Now, a big thing about job listings, one of the things you have to point out is that they only retract jobs from ZipRecruiter. So obviously that's not the only place that IBM is posting jobs. So while this may be okay, I would encourage you to go to LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed, and all that. Check out all the jobs and positions and obviously the IBM website to check all the jobs that they may have available. This is only a subsection that is being pulled by ZipRecruiter to do not just go on this. In fact, even if it says no jobs are being listed, that doesn't mean it's not. And overall, I'm going to tell you that throughout everything we're doing here on this database, I go by one mantra, and Mike does too, and that is trust but verify. As Mike said, they do the best they can to reach out to these companies to verify those data is all correct, and the officers and everything, but it's not always true. As you guys know, from reading the news every single day, CEOs change, HR people leave, managers leave, everything's always in turn. So always verify everything on LinkedIn and everywhere else that the data we're about to show you is true about that particular company or location. So, all right, so we got job listings. We got a competitors report. That is golden. I'll tell you guys right now, like myself in the insurance industry, I can go into the competitors report and say, okay, what other companies are out there that I've totally forgotten about, but I can also apply to because they do the same thing I may be looking for. So a competitors report, the industry profile, what is that industry looking like these days? What else is out there? All those things are important in your research. And by the way, what do we always tell you before the interview? Do your company research. And that includes what is important about that industry, what is going on in that industry. So all these things are wonderful opportunities for you to get more up to date, especially if you're switching industries. So now I'm looking at the competitors report, and all these companies here do the same thing or part of the same thing that IBM does. So I bet you most of us had no idea that these companies even existed. And they're competitors at a certain level with IBM at different points. So I would encourage you guys to look at that competitors report. Now, the one thing about this competitors report, and we don't know why, but this is the only part of the database where you cannot download this information. Unfortunately, all you can do with this competitors report is take a screenshot and use it that way. Otherwise, we'll tell you how you can download the balance of the other reports that we're going to show you. But this particular one, all you can do is a screenshot. But again, multiple companies here that we probably never heard of before, and now you can reach out to and see, start doing your research and see if they have openings that may benefit you.
I will point out that there was one person in the chat that said they were interested in Amdocs as one of their target companies. I thought that was kind of interesting. It's on our list in our presentation. So,
right. So we're going to select Amdocs, and we're actually going to look at. Oh, let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself here. All right. So the core to this whole thing is these financial codes, actually government codes assigned to every company out there. So if you've ever been in the financial industry like I was, or any other industry like that, you're very familiar with SIC codes and now NAICS codes. SIC codes basically are a lot broader, and NAICS codes are a lot more specific these days. So the SICs came back, right around the Depression era, they came up with these codes the government did to identify the types of companies that are out there. And then in 97, they came up with some of the more refined. So whereas SIC may have told you it was a retail store, now NAICS will tell you it's a retail store / bakery, restaurant, greeting card store, whatever the case it might be. So every business in North America now has one of these classification codes. And this, again, is the core to using this database. Once you look up a company, you always want to make note of that code or those codes. All right, so we looked up IBM, and here are the codes we're talking about. And I would encourage you to write down the NAICS code, and we're going to be using those codes going forward. So both the SIC and NAICS you can write down, but it's primarily NAICS that you're going to be working for through the North American Industry Classification System code. So now we're going to start refining our search. So we're going to restart this, and this time we're going to be using that code because we know that we work for IBM, or we've heard of IBM, and we like what they do, but maybe we don't want something quite that large. So now we're going to start refining it. Now that I've got that code, I can search on that code and see, how many companies are out there do exactly the same thing that IBM does, or at least similar things that IBM does. So we're going to start by selecting that keyword / NAICS. And once we select that checkbox, then we're going to, do a search on a primary NAICS only. And then we're going to actually obviously put in the code and the search box. And that way we can do a search on that. And you can see from the description right under those arrows that we are talking about computer services, which primarily is the core business that IBM does. So now, by the way, we want to stay in this area. So we're also going to select by city, the cities that are around us. So some of you that, for instance, live in Grapevine may only want to do the cities around you, like Louisville, Capel, Keller, whatever, that's right around you. You can select whatever cities you want. So you select the city. If you want to go broader, you can start with Dallas and pick up everything there. But this gets very specific to all the cities within Texas that are around here. So you can go ahead and, filtering that. So you get more specific search, especially if you think you want to work on site, or you're going to have to work on site. You want to try to control your drive a little bit. You can select the cities around you. So now we're going to select Dallas to start with. And we're going to view your results. We're going to update our results there by clicking in the top right-hand corner there. And now here are all the companies with that NAICS code within Dallas, Texas. And these are all the ones that are out there. So now you can start doing your research on these particular companies. And as you can see, we have 21 of them that we probably never heard of before, except obviously IBM that's on there already. So now you can start doing your research on these companies. And again, take a look at the fact that we have that little graphic on the corporate tree that tells you most of these are reporting to a larger office. Obviously, IBM is a bigger office in New York and US headquarters. So you want to start looking at these. And now you can see those that don't have the indicator, they may be the only office that there is. There is no home office, there is no branches, it's just the only office. But this is where you start your research. And we're going to start at the very top with, we have those two, and we're going to select Amdocs, which, as Mike mentioned, happened to be somebody's target company already, but it's already in our presentation, so it worked out beautifully. All right, so now here's the research or the information on Amdocs. Again, I reiterate, This is only, I use this tool, I would recommend you use this tool to identify your target companies. Your research should be done outside of reference solutions. It should be done, like I said before, your LinkedIn, your Google, Hoover's, wherever you're going to do your research, whether using your library or not. This is just informational purposes to tell you the companies that are around. Because honestly, as Mike was saying, they reach out to all these companies. There could be some of these companies didn't respond because they're no longer in business. So do your research on a lot of them and make sure that before you commit to an interview or anything, that you know exactly what you're getting into. And again, see, in this case, they're showing no job listings for Amdocs. But perhaps if you go to LinkedIn, you go to their website, you'll see job listings. So now you can see it's the same NAICS code that we've been talking about, that 54.15.11.04. And so we're in the same place. And you can see these folks, and I'm familiar with Amdocs as well, from my old business. And yeah, they do a lot of stuff with document management. So you can see that computer services is the broader, but you can see also they do other stuff. Go ahead, Mike.
So now at this point, we've shown you kind of the quick process to identifying different target companies and getting information about these companies. One of the things that we found and one of the best practices we saw was identifying hot industries or industries that are hiring. You may find out if you go out to like the business journals or some of the other, if you Google the hot industries in Dallas-Fort Worth area, you may be able to find the basic industries that are really hot or that are hiring. They're looking for people that have your skills. And in Dallas, the example is technology, financial services, and defense. That's kind of typical in the DFW area or the Dallas area. And in Fort Worth, that some of the hot industries are oil and gas, manufacturing, and aviation and aerospace. And so you need to understand what the hot industries are. And if I have a skill set that's generic that could be applied in a lot of different areas, why not go to some of the hot industries or places that are doing a lot of hiring? So you can do your research in advance and figure out what industries you may want to go after or may want to learn more about. In addition, obviously you want to know the best places to work. The employees, they send out, there's a survey that's done every year, and the business journals are always touting the best places to work. So wouldn't I want to work at a company that's one of the best places to work? I certainly don't want to work at one of the worst places to work, that's for sure. But so, look up the Dallas Business Journal and figure out where are the best companies to work, and take advantage of those. So that's a couple of best practices that we found out as we got into our research here, identifying these companies for the best places to work in either Dallas or in the DFW area. Now, most of you, let me see a show of hands if anybody has not used Amazon to buy something. No. Is there anybody that has not used Amazon to buy something online? Okay, so I'm guessing that everybody's used Amazon. And if you haven't, speak up right now. All right, so you get the idea of what this reference solutions is just like Amazon. You're going out and searching for target companies. And so if I was on Amazon and I wanted to buy a shirt, I would go out to Amazon and type in shirt. And then I would type in, do I want a dress shirt or do I want, whatever it is. So you start filling in information about the specific things that you're looking to buy. Well, you're looking now to buy a target company. And it's a simple process. It's a filtering process. And so what you can do, and the key things that we point out are listed in red, by the way. The things that we took advantage of and used the most as we started using this tool. There are other pieces of things that this tool will provide, but we highlighted the items that we use the most in red. And so obviously, just like Pete showed you, you can search by company name like we searched for IBM just a minute ago. Or you could go by business type. Example, I used keywords, and I'm in the HVAC industry, and I typed in HVAC. So business type can assist you in identifying the key target companies that you're looking for. In addition, geography. If you don't want to move and you would like to work in a certain area, be it, you identify certain cities that are nearby. You can type in those cities' names, and it will search by geography. In addition, by business size. Pete and I were talking, and Pete talked earlier about the desire to work at a small, medium, or large size company. I've worked at a couple of Fortune 500 companies, and as it is, I found that maybe a smaller company would value my resource, the resources I can provide, or the knowledge base that I have at the company, more so than a Fortune 500 company. Maybe I want to be able to utilize a lot of different skills rather than just one specific. And a smaller company may value that more than a large company. So, and that's some of the logic that I used in selecting business size, either by number of employees or by sales volume. And then ownership. Ownership is important. You may say, well, how does that come into play? Well, there's a lot of companies that are owned by foreign companies. Hyundai, okay, that's a Korean company, right? If you happen to work for Hyundai, now the culture is a little bit different in Hyundai than it is in the United States. And so you got to be thinking about, if there are people that are part of the leadership that are in Hyundai, you want to understand where the owner is from. And so work on that, or at least understand that, and take advantage of the culture. Same thing with like a Toyota, or some company like that. The last company I worked for was a Swedish owned company. The people were from Sweden, and they came over as we did our presentations. And so I had to be careful not to do any US faux pas as I made presentations to these people as I made presentations to the board of directors. And so that will assist you in identifying and bringing your list down from the 18 million verified companies down to 50 to 100 companies that you're looking to then vet and understand and do more research on. Now, this tool, as you get into the filtering, you can use this in the advanced search. And so as I look at it, there's either the advanced search or additional filters. If you click on either one of those, it will take you to this screen. And note in the middle there, it says verified businesses or unverified businesses. And we always used verified businesses because the call center always calls and verifies the information. However, you don't have to. If you choose to include the unverified businesses, you have that available to you. And there may be some companies out there that are really good companies that just weren't verified. However, do your research. Like Pete said, you always want to make sure that you continue to do your research. But as we went out and looked for companies, we focused on the verified companies that the information from these verified businesses. Now note that this record says 18,270,000 companies. I think that number's up to about 18.3 million companies now. And they continue to add on. The call center keeps adding on to the list of verified companies. But there's about 18 million companies that are out there. And so let's practice for a change here and take a look at. I'm going to go by keyword this time, and so we're going to use industry keyword, and we clicked on that, and the keyword I want to use is healthcare management. Okay, so I typed in healthcare, and up popped this list of healthcare groups. And I said, well, just for examples today, let's look at healthcare management. And I clicked on this, and you can may be able to see it's slightly blue. When I click on this, it selects it and drops it down into this selected area. Then at that point, that you might be able to see it a little bit better, I blew it up to make it easier to see. I clicked on healthcare management. It pops in the selected area, and I updated the count. When I did that, it brings up 4,000 healthcare management companies. And at that point, I said, okay, that's good. Now I want to I don't want to work with 4,000. That's too big. I want to narrow it down by geography because I want to work in an area that's close to my house. And as it is, I selected, I live in Plano. So I said, I'm going to select Plano, and there's, let's see, Frisco's pretty close, and I'm willing to drive as far as Grapevine. Grapevine, okay, that's a 30-minute drive in rush hour, that kind of thing. But you can select whatever city that you want, the surrounding cities of the area that you live or that you can easily get to. So select your cities, and then I updated the count and got 13. Okay, there's 13 health management companies in the Grapevine, Frisco, and Plano area. So I said, let's take a look at and view these results. And I popped them up, and here's the 13 companies that I came up with. Now, I said, I want to get this list of 13 and put them on a spreadsheet. And so how do I do that? Well, if you'll notice up at the top here, there's these bars right here. I want to take advantage of this information, and I want to download the information. Okay, download the list so I can then start doing more in-depth research on those companies. So I went in, I said, okay, I'm going to download. I clicked on download, and up pops these 2 steps. Now, if you're in data analysis or familiar with data analysis, you may use comma delimited information frequently. I am an Excel user, and so I thought, you know what, for me, Excel would be a better tool to use. So I chose Excel. Okay, and so that, for me, that was better. If you're good with comma delimited, that's okay. The data people said, hey, the most popular is comma delimited. That's great for data people. That's great. But for people that aren't familiar with that, most people are familiar with Excel. And I said, let's go ahead and use Excel. I want the information on a spreadsheet. Then I'm also going to choose the level of detail that I want. And there's 3 choices. I can get the summary, which gives me most of the information or the basic information about the company, or I can do a detailed version, which gives me about 10,000 cells of information on a company. And that's just way too much information. And there's a lot of empty cells in there. Or I could select, or I could do a custom select fields to export. Recommendation, the one I would use is the summary. And that gives you the basic information that you're looking for. Okay, so I chose Excel and I chose summary because it gives you the basic information about that company. So what we talked about first is, okay, how do you filter? And then this is the Amazon spreadsheet. I'm buying a shirt. What do I want? You know, so you select what you're looking for, either by company name, the business type, keywords, or major industry group, or SIC or NAICS codes, your geography, the specifics of metro area being like a DFW metro area, or city and state, like a Plano, Texas, or you know, or something, you know, Frisco, Allen, whatever. And then the size of the business, working with the number of employees or the sales volume that they have, the ownership, be it a public or private company, headquarters, foreign parent or not, and home-based business or a government office. And those are the key things that we used as we looked at the various different things. Now, one thing I would say, if you're looking for nonprofit jobs, those of you that are looking for nonprofit, the best way to get that is to use the keyword nonprofit. And that will provide you that information. So if I'm looking for a nonprofit to work in the nonprofit arena, go to keyword and type in keyword, type in nonprofit. All right, so we talked about how to go to get target companies with reference solutions. Now, what can we do with that information? And where can what other information is available from this tool? And so the things that we found as we're going through the tool is we can find the names and the quantity of people that are in the company, some R&D, the spend for their research and development, the marketing spend of the particular location, a 10K report. You can, or where to find a 10K report. That's a 10K is a sweetened condensed version of an annual report. And those are great locations to find information as you're doing research on particular companies. And then also the competition to these people. Having a list of the competition could also point you in a direction of a prospective company you want to work for. All right, so now we have an opportunity to go live, and I've got a couple of examples that I'd like to use, and I think there's information for some of the people in them. One of the companies or one of the arenas that we focused on as we went through our research was, let's see, first let me get into new share. I want to get out and take a look at, okay. On a second, I'm going to see if I can. Here we go. I want to open up reference solutions here. That's great. It's alchemy, and I can't move that. Tell you what, let me do this. I'm going to have to reopen reference solutions. I can't do that. I have one of the challenges I've got is you're showing. Maybe I can do it here. Okay.
Do I need to start dancing, Mike, or?
At the top of your, I can't move this meeting is being recorded. And it's got my, it's got access to reference solutions on it.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but.
Okay, hang on. I may be able to find it here. Okay. Here it is right here. Okay. See if I can't find it now. There it is. Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah.
All right. Good. I'll move that over. Okay. One of the tools, and some of you are agnostic when it comes time for the type of work or company that you're looking for. For example, if you're in IT, you can do IT in a lot of different industries. And so you may be industry agnostic. It doesn't matter where you're working. And so as it is, you may not care as long as it's IT related. Because for example, if you're responsible for taking care of all the computers in the business and computer help, if that's your focus, then you could work in a lot of different industries. And it really doesn't matter. So under the circumstances, that you can be looking in a lot of different industries. You just want to find the industry to get your information in. And I'll give you an example that we were looking for. Let's look at general contractors. And I want to do a search in the general contractors arena. And they could be needing finance people. They could be needing IT people. They could be needing product managers or project managers. So there's a lot of different areas. And so let's just look in general contractors as an example. When I open that up and can everybody see the general contractors at the top of the list here? Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. When I click on that, when I click on general contractors, it pops into the selected area. Now, as it is, what I can do is I can update my count right now from 18.3 million businesses. If I update the count in the United States, there's 139,000 general contractors. And I want to narrow that list down because I live in the DFW area. So I want to narrow it down by metro area, and see metro area has been added below. And I go down here to metro area and I select Texas. And as I do that, I'm going to go down here to DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, and I click on the Dallas Fort Worth area and it brings it across. I want to update my count, and that narrows it down to about 2,500 general contractors in the DFW area. That's a lot of contractors. So I want to narrow it down even more because I want to work at the headquarters, because the type of work I do is done best from the headquarters location. So let's look at, you see ownership here. Let's look at headquarter branch. I click on that and I update and up pops headquarter or branch, and I want headquarters, and I want to view my results. and it takes it down to 9 locations. Oops. And I want to go back. It's not nice to me. Let me do this again. Okay, I'm at 9 locations now. And I want to look at only public companies, just to narrow it down even more. 9 companies is great, and I could take advantage of that. If I wanted to use 9 companies, that's a good number of companies. But I wanted to see just the public companies because this one company came up big when I did that. And so I'm looking at publicly owned companies, and I want to update the results, and I get 1 company. And I want to look at that company because they've got some interesting results. It's Primoris Services Corporation. And you can see, as Pete was talking about earlier, this corporation tree here, the down arrow means it's a headquarters. If I wanted to take a look at it, I could search by the number of employees, and at their headquarters, there's only 10 to 19 people at their headquarters. Then if I wanted to look at their sales, it says 5 to 10 million at that location. And then I go back to the corporate tree. I've got the down arrow again. Let's take a look at the results from the Primoris Services real quick. So when I open it up, first thing, I want to minimize all. You notice I've got location here on the quick links, and the blue bar shows location. Job listings, the second blue bar is job listings. And if I wanted to expand that information, I can expand all of them and take a look at the information on all of them. Here's where Primoris is located in the Dallas area. And from ZipRecruiter, they're saying they're hiring one of the ones that they're showing in Balch Springs. And that may not be real close to Dallas, but that's an opening that they have listed. When you go to this, if you open up all the jobs for this company, it takes you away from the program. And so you'll have to start again to find Primoris. So just make note if there's a job you're interested in, that if you click on it, you're going to go away and you have to re-find the company again. All right, so here's information, the SIC codes and NAICS codes on what they do. A long list of things the different things that they do.
Excuse me, Mike.
As part of their business. Yes.
So on that last point, you said, can you right click and open in a new window the search results so you don't leave the site?
We weren't able to, no. And I don't want to take a chance right now. You can try it when you go out. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can go back and find it again, but I don't want to take a chance in the demonstration to do that because I'm afraid it would if we lost it, it'd take me a few minutes to get back to it.
Hey, Mike, just to reinforce what we've been saying earlier, I just did a quick search on Primoris and LinkedIn. They actually have 9 job openings right now, as opposed to the one showing on ZipRecruiter.
Oh, they have 16 job openings. If you go to Primoris Direct, and that was one of the other things. They have some really nice looking job openings. Mm-hmm. And just in case you don't know who Primoris is, there's a business profile and a description of those. And then it shows where it's located in Dallas. And it says location employees, it says 12. And the sales volume in that location is $5 million or almost $5.5 million. But the thing that got me, I'd never heard of the company before, but it's almost a $6 billion company. It's huge. And you look at the corporate sales volume here, Now, the affiliated locations, that means there's a lot of different locations that report to the corporation. And there are 66 related documents that are and companies that are all tied to Primoris. And then as you work your way down, here's a list of people that are tied into Primoris. So if you're interested in networking with any of these people, you can reach out and look these people up on LinkedIn and learn more about them and figure out who do I want to reach out to and talk to network into this particular company. Regional managers, site managers, regular managers, managers of operations, manager of operations and chairman of the board, executive officers, engineering techs. I mean, there's a laundry list of people that you can reach out to and network with. If you're in IT, here's 3 people in IT. If you're looking for this company, I would encourage you to network with the HR people because they're the people hiring. Here's like 7, 8 people that are in the HR arena. So there's a lot of different people that are listed here that you can reach out to and network into. Now, as I move further down, here's their stock ticker and stock information, and more information about how much money they spend, that kind of thing. This was kind of neat. We looked at their sales volume by year, and you notice that it drops off to 0. Well, nobody got in touch with them. It is in 2022. Nobody touched base with them in 2022. So if you look at this graph, that the sales numbers going up are just huge. They're off the chart, and they're up close to $6 billion in the size of their company. From an employee size, they basically have grown significantly, almost to 15. They're at 14,000 employees. So this is a huge company, and this is information that you can use. Hey, I've got an interview with Primoris. You can start looking at this information and writing down questions based on this type of information. And then I come down here and take a look at information, nearby businesses. I don't care. Competitors report. Here's your competitors. And unfortunately, you can't copy this. You have to take a picture of this if you want to keep this information. But here are competitors in the Dallas area, close by, and these are all contractors. So any questions about this, about Primoris, or looking at the information that Primoris has here out on Reference Solutions? Anybody have any questions on that?
None here.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
How often does the records get updated?
Okay, so as you looked at the information about Primoris, they updated every year except 2022. Now, there are, how many companies did we say? 102 million companies that are out there. So the call center can only touch base with 24 million people or million companies each year. So they're constantly on the phone calling companies to verify the information and make sure that they got the best information. So it's updated at best once a year at best. Okay, and in the case of Primoris, you look at it and they have 0 down here for 2022. They didn't go down to 0 in 2022. They just didn't get information from Primoris on that in that year. Okay. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now, one of the things Pete always points out, trust but verify. So this information, always trust but verify. So there's a lot of other locations that you can go out and get information. Since this is a public company, you can go and get their 10K or their annual report, and it will tell you what their strategy is and what their plans are and things like that in their annual report, as well as in their 10K. So as you're doing, it's not just go to this tool to learn more about the company. If this is one of the companies you're interested in, you can go to their annual report. Now, if it's a private company, they do not have to provide an annual report or a 10K.
Mike.
I'm sorry?
You were frozen for a second there.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so if they're not a private or a public company, they don't have to share that information.
And I would still say, as
So
Steve
Mike,
said,
there's one.
Mike, I got a question for you there. Just so I'm understanding, right now you're live into this and you did that through that link card that puts you into the Houston library, is that correct? So you don't have to go to the library and do it on their stuff. You go through that link, and this way you can be at home and do this to your heart's content.
correct. Yes, you can do it from anywhere. You don't have to be physically in a library to do this.
Very cool. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I was watching this, so you went live. I was like, wait, how do you do this? So, okay, thank you.
And as Steve Stolkin pointed out in the chat, keep in mind that some of the, you may look up a CEO here on Reference Solutions, and that person may not be with that company anymore, but you can also look up that CEO and see where he is now. And now you can see now another company you can possibly look at if you met that CEO before, if you're connected to him already. So it's not only the context of the companies, it's also the context of the people you see at these companies, whether they're still there or not.
And it's a good person to network with. Hey, I noticed that you worked at this company. I'm interested in learning more about that company. As a potential, they have a position that's open. Would you mind spending a few minutes talking with me about the company? Right. I'd like to get your thoughts on that. So great opportunity.
Mike, I got a question for you, Cindy Lou. So when I was looking at some of your entries, some of them you noted that they had email addresses. Are those email addresses for the employees at the company currently?
You mean down here? Let's see. You talking about here?
I would be more likely to trust a LinkedIn email address than anything you're gonna see here. Because of the volume of the businesses and the call center getting it. Anything you see would view as suspect.
Yes, agreed.
The email address that you may be seeing, maybe the email addresses of the various locations or offices. Okay. So it may be a general email address.
You may be able to decipher the domain, maybe guess at somebody's email address from that. I don't know if I take that chance. And keep in mind, a lot of CEOs, C-level people have their emails forwarded to their admin assistants or whatever, so they may never see it anyway. I cold email to somebody. I don't know if I take that approach, but it has worked for others. I know Patty, who's not with us anymore, Patty's done that approach before, Patty Bashi, and had some success with it. Just, reaching out via email, cold calling, sort of.
Yeah.
There's a question in the chat about legitimacy of corporations and was asking, is there any tools to help us verify company legitimacy?
Probably Hoover's, Dun & Bradstreet, LinkedIn, you see good old Google. But yeah, those are, like we say, this is a great tool to identify the companies that are out there. Company research, I would not use this tool for company research, just my own personal opinion.
And I would use this, but I would then also get another source or a couple other sources. And so take advantage of this tool, identify your target companies, and you can use this for some information. But then I would also use the other tools that Pete was talking about.
Ray, Mike, we can't hear you.
I would even tell you, find the companies here, and they just go in tool like AI tool like ChatGPT and say, give me the financial reports for, Primaris. So give me the, the current CEO and staff for Primaris and see if that's any more accurate or whatever information you're trying to find. Again, great source reference solutions for finding out.
My name's Jody Dahlberg.
Sorry, what was that?
Jody Dahlberg. I mentioned also that this resource is available through Frisco Library. And there's another resource called Gale Businesses. Also.
Can you speak up?
Yes, I wanted to mention that this resource is also available through the Frisco Library. If you have a Frisco Library card, you can get it online. And there's another one called Gale Business Resources, I think.
There are local libraries in the north, at least in the northeast area, the Plano, Frisco, Allen. And some of them are participating with each other as a group, and you can have a library card in one and gain access to another library. So suggestion is check your local library, call them up and say, do you have this database?
Right.
But you want to ask the reference librarian about that. And then you can go get a card there.
Right.
So
yeah, that was the part of the reason why we provided the My Link card at Houston was a shortcut. Hey, you don't have to do that. You can do it directly from your house. You don't have to worry about, Plano you have to come in and sign in. And so I said, well, I could do that, but if I want to save my time, I can just go My Link card in Houston. And like I said, I got mine in about 10 minutes. So we just try to make it easier or do a shortcut for you to make it easy for you.
And
some libraries may have the A to Z database, not the reference solutions database.
Right.
This is Troy Dye. I was going to give one comment on this too. This is great. I'm so glad to get to see this. One little tip that you might try if you're trying to find an email address and you see a name here, Zoom Info has a light version that will allow you. They have pretty good accurate data on email addresses, and you can at least see what the naming convention is. Right, first name dot last name or whatever they use. And then you can take a shot if you want to try. That's what I do a lot with my recruiting and marketing efforts, is utilize that. But that would be to piggyback with this. So just throw that out there.
Thanks, Troy.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move back to the.
You need to speed up a little bit. We're running over.
Yep. That's where I was going, right to the summary.
Yeah. All right. So real quick, obviously this is the best part about this is that famous four-letter word, 3. So you guys already know we've discussed many ways to get to it. So you know how to get to it. It's fairly easy to use. If you've ever used a database in your life, or like Mike was saying, that online shopping or whatever works pretty much the same way. And it's a great tool again for identifying your target companies and for getting information for your informational interviews and research and stuff like that. But again, the information you see on the database may be outdated. So remember to always verify everything you see.
And one of the things that you can always say is, hey, as I was researching your company, I came across this statement that says you're a $5.5 billion company. Are you a $5.5 billion company? Or, you can ask them and inquire, saying, hey, I've done the research or some research. This site says that you're this item, whatever it is that you're interested in, and ask them the question, is this accurate? It's something you can use in interviewing.
Yeah, I'd rather have that information up front, Mark. If you're asking me during the interview, that means you haven't done your research. I'd rather okay, never mind. All right, so our call to action, get your library card. It's free. And you can get the My Link card from Houston. It takes, like I said, takes about 10 minutes. Sign on to, now, in order to find it, it's listed as in Houston as Data Axle Reference Solutions.
So it says there's an A to Z tab that you can click on. It says A to Z databases. If you click on that, it will give you alphabetized the options. If you click on D, it has data axle about the fourth one down. And it's data axle reference solutions. And the one thing we want you to do is next week, we want you to get your library card, go out to the site and identify 2 target companies with this tool. And if you're like me, it took me 3 weeks to do that. But we'd like you not to do that and not waste 3 weeks. Come back next week with your 2 target companies at the next meeting. Are there any questions?
Well, I'd like to add one thing. There's a really, you can only touch the surface of all the parameters and all the things that you can do. And it might, Pete, have hit, some of the most critical ones that we most often use. But there was one really neat one. There's a map search. You can put in your address, say, what's the circumference in miles away from my house? And then it'll find companies within that distance from your house. And so just another feature of parameter that's in there. So there's a bunch more in there. So Mike, Pete, I contend that, as I said earlier in the session, that this is one of the top 5 things we ought to be doing to help us identify these companies. I listen to people and I say, how much time do we spend being found versus the amount of time we spend finding? And I think the shorter job search is in finding that company, working your way into that company. Companies are always hiring. If they find somebody that can help them achieve some goal or objective that they have, they will make a place for us. So spend some of that time. And so now you get your list. My suggestion is 20 target companies, work 5 at a time. So get 20, then start vetting and say, okay, which ones make the list? Now I've got 5 of them that made my list that I want to follow up on. And now here's my task to get more information and go that route. Just a suggestion on my side.
I agreed, and I would also write down what's important to you. Is it the distance? Is it the size of the work? And that way you can check off how that company meets your goals and whatever that.
Amen. Amen, Pete. If you can't describe your target, then how do you judge your companies without knowing exactly what's most important to you? So good point, Pete. Thank you guys so much. It's a great presentation, a lot of information. Hardly recommend you that one of the little tricks is whatever library you go is finding where on the library webpage the databases are listed and where this database is found. That's why, when I first went out there, I just said, where is it? And they showed me the navigation. So it can appear, every library has it in a different place too, as you go through. Anyway, so thank you so much, guys. Well done. I appreciate all the help. Will you make that presentation available to me so that we can send that out?
Sure.
Okay. Just send it to me. You will get a follow-up email if you put your legible email address on the sign-in sheet and you put your email address in the chat window. Just to let you know, Mike, we have about 15, 16 people in the room today. And so we had a large group. This will be one of the larger groups that we've had. And I think we set a record for people in person since COVID today with this number of people. I think this is the largest group we've had. So we're very glad that we're able to have people come. All right, just a few other things to finish up.
When I address that chat, how to save the chat.
Oh yeah, if those of you that want to save the chat, you should have an icon at the bottom. It's like I'm seeing 4 icons and a little down arrow for more, but there's one that's called File, and you can save the chat yourself.
It's somewhere at the bottom, somewhere at the top, 3 dots.
All right, hang on a second. Let me stop sharing or start sharing again.
It mainly works, I believe, if you're on a laptop, but I think if it's on your cell phone, it makes it difficult to save.
Brandy, if you want, I can save the chat for you and send it to you.
Oh, no, I'm on my laptop today. Thanks.
Oh. Good to see you though.
Thank you. You too.
Of course, y'all can't see my chat window. Everybody has their own.
Up there.
Chat.
I showed him up there.
Okay.
Yes.
So for those of us who have Zoom but wanting to capture the chat, what's the best practice? Log in?
We will send out a follow-up email.
I mean, I started to go into it, but then the sound interfered and just mute the. Okay.
There's a follow-up email that will include the presentation slides and the text of the chat to all people that we can read and see your email address. Yes.
You said this is number 5. What are 1 and 4?
I'm trying to recall what did I say was number 5?
In the
The top things to do. Networking. Okay, research, knowledge, about the company, practicing, interviewing. Is that 4? I think is that 3 or 4?
With reference, you're saying this one.
So, yeah. Does that answer your question? So the question was, what are the other 4 things if this is one amongst the top 5? All right. Right. Okay, let's finish up. Let me go back to. Okay. So let me just give you a couple of things as we close out today and let you know about. I mentioned the importance of careerdfw.org. That's probably one of the top 5 that I would say is knowing this particular resource because it points to so many additional resources that you can have. For example, and I'm picking out one is the calendar feature. And if you select the calendar feature, it comes up and shows you, here's one way it shows you. There's also an agenda view that comes out this way. So you can click on one of these and it'll come up with information, who to contact, where it is, when they meet, all that. Well, here it is there. And I'm going to point out one. This is this is our group. Okay. There's another one that's coming up on the Fort Worth Career Search Network that I will suggest as a follow-up activity. I don't know if you know Michael Chapman or not. Mike comes and speaks to the group. I didn't get him this year, but it's about health insurance. And he's got updates and information on health insurance. He's going to be on the Fort Worth Career Search Network on Monday. Let me see if I can go to my chat window.
Yeah, we just had him out to South Lake yesterday. He did a great job. So.
Hang on a second. Where did it go? Well, things got changed real quick. Okay. This will save you from going and finding the link to that meeting. But I suggest you go look it up on the calendar, on the CareerFW calendar, and look at next Monday. He's a super guy and he'll answer your questions and healthcare changes all the time. There are some significant changes happening this year. All right. So if you want to join that, you can join that. I suggest that you do that. All right. If you go to the Career USA channel on YouTube, you will come up with something that looks like this when you click on playlist. When you click on playlist, it'll bring up these categories. These are recorded videos that Jeff has recorded starting back when we had COVID and we had a lot of online stuff. There are quite a few videos that are out there and he's categorized them. For example, if you look at this down at the bottom, the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group is one of the categories. You click on view full playlist and it'll come up with a list. We have to post a few of them. my poster's on vacation. We're behind about 2 or 3 sessions, including the LinkedIn session on Tuesdays. But, and you can see these recorded videos, of which this will be one of them, probably within a week or something like that. So we try to post them in order and by category. So what's coming up next week? Patty hosts the LinkedIn sessions on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. This week it's going to be Terry Sullivan. If you haven't heard Terry Sullivan talk about LinkedIn, he is a fire hose approach. I mean, he goes really fast, but Terry offers some really help with your LinkedIn. So coming up on that, you can look that up also on Tuesday at 1 o'clock on the Grid FW to do the LinkedIn workshop. So that's Terry. And oh, Terry, I love what you say here about who you are, what you do, and what you're very good, Terry. Thank you for putting those words in there. I developed those words back in 2000, 20 yeah, for when I developed the workshop. So I'm glad Terry's picked up on that. All right, the practice interview team we've heard already that you can watch an actual practice next week. It's in this room for those of you that are present, but it's here at the Christ United Methodist Church, 1 o'clock. Strongly recommend you participate in that, observe and participate. Every time you practice, you get better. Plus, we're all on your side. We're here to help you improve your skills. So you can send a request to the www.dallaspick2.com email site. Say, hey, here's my resume. Here's my job description. I'd like to get scheduled. Notice that we do about 3 a week now, and Ron is really scheduled out. I mean, I know he's got probably over 20 people, I think.
Scheduling for December 11th.
December the 11th. So sign up. And if you get a job before then, you don't have to come. Okay, it's all right.
Those of you that have been there will tell you, oftentimes they may move. This week I had somebody dropped out, so I just started down the list of the next active person and start.
Yeah, the further out, when I schedule the interview workshop and when he schedules, the further out it goes, the more changes that happen as time goes on. All right. So what's coming up on the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group? Next Friday, we have open forum. The first Friday of the month, we have open forum. You bring in your job search challenges, your questions, and then all of us that are attending who've had experience with some of that can participate in helping each other. So we're going to try to help each other in that process, as well as helping you. On the next Friday, the Strengthology Career Transition. Many of you may know Brandy Shade. Extremely knowledgeable, great presentation, great information, and how that can help us in job search. And then on the following Friday, Mina Brown will be here to talk about the one-page bio. I strongly suggest we all have a bio. It's a great networking tool. It's a better networking tool than a resume. Handing a person a bio says, hey, I'm just getting information. Here's information about me, etc. So anyway, that's coming up. Jason's Deli today. Well, it's already 11:45, so we're going to drive down there shortly. How many people are coming to lunch? We need to get a count. Jason's Deli.
East or west of you.
That's it. Pardon?
1 o'clock. Is it quick to get in and out of there?
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty quick. Anyway, it's 4801. I think that's towards Preston Road.
Yes.
So for those of you who go out on Parker towards McDonald's, turn left. It'll be on your right before you get to Preston's Road. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Walt.
No, thank you.
Thanks.